Hey there, Chad here. Thanks for joining me. This is Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead, and this is a tutorial on how to get started into this game that has a really steep learning curve, but is a lot of fun to play once you kind of have some of the basics down. I am enjoying what I'm learning about the game, but I'm also not getting really deep. I certainly haven't approached mid-game. I'm barely to the point where I can survive with just a handful of days without doing something stupid that gets me killed. But I'm going to share with you what I am learning. And in this episode, I think what we want to do is try to get some tools put together. So right now, really all we have is the crowbar, and a screwdriver becomes very helpful because that gives us the opportunity to disassemble things. The recipe for a screwdriver requires a chunk of steel or a lump of steel. And the best way I've found to get those is to find a car and bash it until you find it. So let's see if we can find a car along the road. We do have this nice, lovely road here, and maybe we'll get lucky and find something. Maybe not. We'll have to see. But we're going to go south. Looks like we got a couple of options here. There's probably a town down here too, so probably need to be careful. We'll see what happens there. Okay, I'm going to come back in here. One other thing I'm going to do is starting the story. This guy here in the evac center didn't have anything for us to do. He didn't have a task for us. You can ask him if he has anything for us to do though, and that would be, can I do anything for you? And I'm going to say, I'm going to hit that, and he's going to say, I have a job for you, and I'm going to select, tell me about it. And this is a good one to get. He wants us to go collect cattails, basically, because we can turn cattails into an antiseptic and an analgesic. He will give us a bag, it says there, and we can put cattails in it and bring it back, and then he'll show us how to do it. This is a good one to get. It's fairly easy to complete, although it can take some time because getting the cattails can take a little bit of time. You need to get 80 of them. That's quite a bit of pretty much anything. So we'll hit enter there, and I'll do it, and he gives us a duffel bag. Well, we certainly can use that duffel bag, if not for what he wants, for other stuff too. So we're going to go ahead and hit up. I hit the wrong key there. I'm going to hit escape to get off of there. So if we look at our inventory, we should now have a duffel bag. Here it is, clothing. We're not wearing it. Is that something that we can wear? I don't know. We can wear a duffel bag. Okay, well, it is now considered worn. Wow, it has a huge volume it can hold, 39 liters, compared to our messenger bag, which only has 12, so it's 3 times bigger. That is great. And if you think about how much difference the messenger bag had with the mail carrier versus the character, the lumberjack, who didn't have anything, that is sizable. That means we're going to be able to get a lot of stuff in there. Also, max size is 39 inches. That probably can carry pretty much anything we would come up with right now. So we're in really good shape there, and we have a strong back. So that's helpful as well. Okay. We're going to go ahead and hold on to this stuff for now, just in case we need it along the way. First aid kit is always good to have. In fact, I want to open that just to make sure. Okay, I do have a handful of bandages in case we run into something that makes us bleed. There is a small bottle of antiseptic. That's good. So if we get bit by a zombie, we should be able to clean that up. Okay, we'll take that with us, and let's go ahead and go. Now, along with him giving us a task, it also gives us a location where we can complete the task, and that will be a flashing. With this tile set, it's a question mark. Depending on the tile set you're using, you might have different response here, but it should look something like this. May not be on the map when you look at it. You might have to scroll around to find it. Okay. All right, let's head down that way and see if we can find a car. That's kind of my primary goal. But beyond that, let's just see if we can find anything new and exciting down here. Okay, so there's a creature there. Ah, this is one of those mushroom guys. Okay, so this is kind of a dangerous guy. He lets off a cloud. He doesn't move very fast. He's not a huge threat to us. That's why the safe mode didn't kick in. Kind of easy to avoid. But he does give off this like powder. There he goes. You hear a poof. And you'll notice that there's a couple of clouds. They disintegrate really quickly. I'll Although I say that, okay, there they go finally. They go away, but we don't want to walk into that at all. So we can't reach him with melee combat to remove him from the game. And he won't chase us or anything a whole lot. Even if he does, he's very slow. So we can outrun him and get away from him pretty easily. Looks like there's a few of these down here, though, because I see they're poofing and then the poofs go away on that mini-map. Incidentally, let's talk about that mini-map for a second. I have decided to set up my sidebar options. And the way you do that, hit Shift, right brace. You will get the sidebar options. If you should maybe, if you haven't changed it at all, it might show up here and tell you what that is. But let me turn on the hint here. This is the right brace that I'm talking about. Basically, we have some options of things we can turn on and off. The white ones are turned on. The darkened ones are not turned on right now. And I just turned the hint back on. I'm going to turn it back off by hitting Tab. And basically, I can put this screen together in whatever order I want. By selecting one of these, hitting S, I can move it around. And you'll notice now weariness is at the very top. I'm going to put it below needs. Actually, I think I did like weariness above that. There we go. So maybe a better example would be like movement. Put movement way here at the top, and that'll show us something there. Let's go ahead and bring it back down here, though. I have limbs self-aware. So if you look over there, the self-aware has the numbers. You'll notice all of my limbs are at 87. That's good. We can turn this one on to see the difference. What it does is it gives you the bars. There's nothing wrong with using the bars, but I tend to be a numbers guy, so I'm going to use the numbers instead. And we have a few other options here, like if we can turn on vehicle for when we are using one. There isn't one in use right now, so it's not going to show up. The compass is that text compass. There's nothing wrong with that. There you go. You can see right there that it has the big F, and it says that F stands for 6 Fungaloids. So those are called Fungaloids. I'm going to turn the compass off, though I don't find it terribly helpful because I have this nice map now, and I'm going to continue to use the map. One other thing to know about the sidebar is you have some settings here. These are different configurations of it, but the interesting thing is these options aren't consistent through all of those. In fact, some of these will combine a couple of things together, like place right now. If we look at place, when you look over here, it includes lighting and weather and time, okay? We can go to some of these over here on this side, like classic. Classic doesn't include that. In fact, weather and lighting are their own sections. So if we look at place now, place literally just tells us field. We're in a field. So you can try these different ones. They all have a little bit different stuff in them for the most part. I was on labels. I think labels is the default one. Head back over to labels. And as you can see, most of the information is the same. Some of these have some really detailed stuff on them too that you might really like. So I think that's enough on the sidebar, but that's why this looks different than it did in the first couple of episodes. I learned how to manipulate it a little bit. Let's continue. We're going to see if so we have the cattails over this way. I'm not going to rush into getting that, although the antiseptic is important and good. I have a little right now, so I'm okay there. I want to see if we can find a car. I really want to get some tools put together if possible. So let's see what we find down this way. More of the Fungaloids. And they're just everywhere, aren't they? Oh, I see a car on the map down there. This is good. That's probably an aphid. It's a ladybug. This one's just a ladybug. They do have an aphid as well. And I think I've seen a cicada. Which is funny because we just had the attack of cicadas here where I live just a few weeks ago. We're finally past that. Nonetheless, let's move on from there. Let's come down and see what we have. This is a truck of some sort, and it looks to be in surprisingly good shape. We might have a vehicle here we can try out. Let's see. I'm going to examine the vehicle. First thing I want to see, tires. It has enough wheels down here. It can run. That's good. A couple of other things it needs. It needs an engine. It has an engine. It is damaged but not critical. It needs fuel. Well, it has fuel tanks. It has fuel. and it needs a battery to be able to start. It has a completely full battery. This is too good to be true, and I am seeing what the fatal flaw is going to be. When we look over here, this shows us what's working and what's not. Controls. Wah, wah, wah. Controls is not working. That means that we probably can't drive this. It's like the steering wheel and the brakes and that. They are not working. So let's see if can we get down to the, it says more here. I'm not seeing how you get over there though. More parts here. Maybe I hit that. Okay, so I'm hitting the greater than sign. And that did indeed seem to kind of shift things down. I'm not seeing, controls, a steering wheel, and accelerator and brake pedals. With the seat or saddle, you drive from here. You can examine the tile to access the controls or use the vehicle control default, which is the caret, which is shift 6. Well, I think that the controls are trashed because they're X'd out. But let's see, we're gonna go ahead and hit escape, and I'm gonna hit, get in the driver's seat, and I'm gonna hit shift 6. No vehicle controls found. Well, that's just too bad. We are not a good enough mechanic yet to know how to fix that. We can take a look though, just to make sure, but we would go here, we would hit R for repair, and go down to the controls. And what it says is you have to be mechanic 2, and I don't have that yet. And you need all this kind of stuff. You need some form of a rod to work on it. We actually need to go get vehicle controls from another vehicle. Those have to be working. And we'd need to have an arc welder or something in order to be able to actually install it. All that stuff is attainable. We can eventually do that, just not right now. So the long game is, here is a fantastic pickup truck. It's a diesel. It has fuel. It's got a battery that is 100%. That is fantastic. It also looks like it might have something in it. Cigarettes. We're going to skip that. Oh, we can get in the back here. I'm not really seeing, we can sleep here. It's like an RV. Actually, did it say it was an RV and I didn't pay attention to that? Don't recall. Semi-truck. Okay. It is a semi-truck. It can go 94 miles an hour. Awesome. It has plenty of fuel. It has, well, not plenty. It's got 5% fuel, but that's enough to get us around where we're at right now. But it does not have a way to drive it just yet. With that restriction, also I'm just looking around here to make sure there's nothing in it. Like tools, for instance, there are no tools in it. So we're going to go ahead and head back out here. We'll close that door. Get out. Shut its doors. Okay. So the truck would be a nice thing to get, but that is super long game right now. I'm not going to have the ability to do a lot of that, at least for several hours in the game, and I do have an immediate need. I really need some steel. So we're going to cannibalize this truck a little bit. I'm going to smash this fender, and let's see what we get. We get some copper wire, scrap metal. Now I don't really need scrap metal right now. I can get that from lockers. What I need is lumps of steel or chunks of steel. Let's see if we can get any of that. That was a good one. We should be able to find some of this here. There's a lump of steel. That's good. Let's see what we have down here. Lump of steel. Now I do want a chunk of steel as well. There's one right there. Good. Okay, we're finding what we need. Don't need scrap metal. A chunk and a lump. Look at that. Okay, these are all good things for us to grab, so we're going to do that. Chunk of steel. These should be scrap metal again. Yeah. Okay. So basically we just destroyed the fender on that truck. We didn't render the truck inoperable though by doing that. Let's take another quick look at it. So we can use our move keys to kind of, the blue item there is what is highlighted on the truck right now. So if we move around, what we'll see is that the frame is damaged, but it's not completely destroyed yet. So we didn't destroy it. It's got a windshield. And I think even if we did destroy it, it wouldn't actually care. I think it would still function. So if we looked at the heavy-duty frame, other vehicle components can be mounted on it. And it can be attached to other frames to increase the vehicle size. There we go. So we can expand vehicles. I didn't even know that. That looks pretty cool. Okay, well, we got what we needed from this. I think what I want to do right now is go home and make some tools. Let's see if we can make a screwdriver while we're standing here. I think I need some other stuff, though I don't remember what. Planks and a hammering tool. For the hammering tool, I need to make a makeshift hammer. And I don't have enough for that either because I probably need a plank. Yeah. Well, we have planks at home. That I know for sure. So let's go ahead and go home. We have some interesting things to investigate down this way, including a building here. That could be fun. Lots of times these one-off buildings, though, will have zombies in them. Hopefully it's not a ton of zombies, but we probably will have to fight through it a little bit. Okay, but we're going to just go home. We're going to avoid these guys. Once we have a weapon a ranged weapon, we will probably come back and get rid of those Fungaloids because they're just not fun, and they can spread, I think. I think that's the one that will spread around, and that's never a good idea, right? So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get a little bit more cordage. Not with that one. Eventually we will want to collect those twigs as well. I don't really need them just yet, though, so I'm going to skip them. And I wanted to see, I haven't really seen where doing a smash on plants ever is effective for getting withered plants. That one won't work. Let's go ahead and grab this rock. So far, not seeing where I actually get anything. Might make sense to grab some of those and not bash them, but for now I was just looking for more withered plants. So, okay, we'll close our door there. Let's see what we can do. We don't necessarily have any planks yet, so I'm going to see if I can use my crowbar. There's nothing to pry nearby, so I can't pry this apart, which means that, yeah, there's no deconstruct, so I'm just going to smash it. And that will definitely give us some planks. Okay, only 2 planks, but you'll see we got scrap metal, some splintered wood, nuts and bolts. Let's go ahead and do one more of those. Gonna get my stamina up just a hair. Oh, that was a lot easier. 2 more planks. Yeah, so effectively we'll probably get 2 planks every time we break one of these. That's what that's kind of telling me. So let's come over here. Let's see if we can make that screwdriver now. Or actually we've got to start with the hammer, don't we? So makeshift hammer. And we want to use, so there are a few things you can make that need chunks of steel, and there's a couple of things that I think need lump. So I'm going to, since I only really need one, I'm going to kind of keep it balanced. And there's the hammer, makeshift hammer. So we're going to grab that, and we now have it. So now we should be able to do the screwdriver. And there it is. And we now made a screwdriver, and we now have the screwdriver. So now when I come over here and I go to construction, I have deconstruct furniture. So I'm going to deconstruct this bench, and you'll notice I have 4 planks instead of 2. I have some chunks of steel. That's excellent, as opposed to scrap metal and 2 planks. So that is very good. Let's come up here. We've got these lockers that aren't being used. Let's see if we can disassemble one of those. And what it gives us a pipe, and it gives us 2 sheet metal. That's extremely important. This is what I kind of wanted to get to, and I think this will be a good place to end this episode. We're going to come over here, and I think we can make a brazier. I'm not quite sure how to say that word. I see it all the time. I've never really heard people say it a lot. It is something that contains fire. And why this is important is we can make it, and we can pick it up. And even though it looks huge, it's apparently small enough to carry. And we can put this somewhere in this room. Let's put it right here. And I can put some wood in it. I'm going to do an advanced function here. I'm going to hit the slash. And the slash is your advanced inventory. This is something I probably will cover again, but here's what you need to know about it, is you can set where you're moving something from on this side and where you're moving it to. Of course, you can move it either direction, that doesn't matter. But it can be a little confusing. What I want it to do is I want to move from directly to my west, and I want to move something to my southeast. So I'm going to go back in there. And on this side, I'm going to set the west, which is keypad 4. And then I'm going to hit the arrow key over. And over here, I'm going to set to the southeast, which is keypad 3. And then I'm going to go back over here. Now you notice it says brazier there. We are going to come in, and we're going to move a plank over there. And so you hit enter. And that's 1 plank. That's 2 planks. I've now put 2 planks over there where the brazier is. You'll notice those are showing up. And I think, nope, I'm mistaken. Okay. I was thinking what that would allow me to do is to light those on fire. But I think I remember why that's not happening. I need to do a get. And instead of just placing that, I think I need to do an action on it. Deploy item. Yes, that's what I need to do. There, now it's deployed. Now I should be able to move the planks to there. Now they're in there, as you can see, and I'm going to hit E, and I'm going to start the fire. There is now a fire here. So fire is very important. We can cook with it when we have meat. We can, I believe we can boil water when we have a pot. That will clean the water for us, I think. I think that's what the plan is. I haven't actually done that yet. I have cooked on them. I have not done the water purification. So there might be some other steps there, but I'm hoping that that's the direction it goes. Also, it provides some heat, as you can imagine. It will burn for a period of time, and as it burns, it will eventually, we don't want to grab the burning planks out of there, but eventually it'll have wood ash in there, and we can use wood ash to make clay in the future, and that's very, very helpful. Okay, so honestly, this has been a really good episode. We made a makeshift hammer. Next, we want to get a real hammer, but the makeshift works just fine for us for now. We were able to make something to contain fire, so we now have fire. And I feel like there was one other thing over there that I was excited about. Chunks of steel, screwdriver. We got the screwdriver, which allows us to take some things apart, and that is extremely helpful. When you deconstruct, it gives you better resources than when you smash, and that is going to be a big benefit for us as we move forward. So thank you for watching. I hope you found something new here, and I'm going to go ahead and continue with a few more episodes of this and see how we're doing. People are enjoying it or not. Fun game. Despite this really super simple sprite graphics in that, it has such an amazing depth to it. It's very cool. So hope you're enjoying it, and thanks for watching. Until next time, fair travels.